My good friends, you've got a hippie unplugged. As I always do with my unplugged, I say, please don't share. This is only for you guys paying extra money to get inside the head of this hippie. And we're unplugged today. We're really unplugged. In fact, I'm throwing the electricity away, uh, if that makes sense. I want to talk about the Liam Neeson controversy, and it even involves Terry Crews. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. The way the world has gotten now, where you can't even admit to the things that made you grow up to be somebody special. I think Liam Neeson is a very good character. He's a very smart, debonair, respectful person. But I don't know him personally. But, and in fact, until he made this revelation, I didn't know him much at all, but I loved his acting. Now, because of this revelation, I believe more in him and less in this stupid Me Too movement. Uh, so, for those of you who do not know, and no need to go jump over and learn about it first before you hear me talk, because I'll tell you. He very openly and honestly, in doing an interview for his upcoming movie, uh, and I think it's Men in Black, a remake of Men in Black. I'm looking forward to it. But I could be wrong there, so you can correct me. I'm okay with that. He admitted to a really kind of racist issue back in his 20s, early 20s. He was just a young man. A good friend of his, had a lady friend, had been raped by a black man. She did not get a good description. She could not charge anybody. She was scared. She was hurt. Uh, and he admits very freely, he just saw a furor. He just saw red. His temper went beyond controllable, and for the better part of a week, which means 4 or 5 days, he went around with a cloche. We'd call it a beaten stick. He went around with a cloche around the black neighborhoods, hoping to get in a confrontation, hoping that some drunk black guy will come out of a bar and say something wrong to him to give him the reason. And he admitted he was out to kill a black man. Now, as horrible as that is, he didn't. He says around the fourth or fifth day, he came to the realization that this is not the way humans act, and this is not respectful, and this is not right, and it's racist, above all. Not above all, it's all of those things. And he put the cloche away, and he put the situation away, and he says, I learned some incredible lessons from that about tolerance and acceptance and moving on. That should have been the end of it. In fact, people should have gone, wow, that's brutally honest. Mad respect, Liam. Mad respect. And in fact, somebody like Terry Crews, a black man, a very prominent black man, said he was just being honest. He is not a racist. If you knew him, you'd know he's not a racist. But no, Liam is in huge trouble for this. Twitter exploded. The news networks out there went crazy on him and only printing the negative. And it's just sad that we're in a world now where we can't, where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If somebody would have found out, I mean, obviously he told a few friends about this, but he kept it pretty close to the chest. If somebody would have found out without him ever admitting to this happening, it probably would have been worse, but it's not. If you hide something and it comes out, I guess, yeah, it's worse than if you come forward. We used to teach people, tell the truth, and the negative effects will be a lot smaller than if you hide it and it comes out anyway. And that's what he was doing. That's how I was raised. As well as our mindsets when we're in our late teens and early 20s, especially men. The women's frontal cortex forms in their early and late teens. For men, it's not until you're 25, sometimes even up to 30, before it's fully formed. We're very reactive and we're very stupid. We're young and we're stupid. Young and stupid it's not a new thing. And admitting to your follies when you were younger. I mean, heck, I used to believe in the basic income. I used to believe in all these left liberal things, and I don't anymore. We adapt, we move on, and we change even when we're old. So somebody coming out and just reflecting on a racist situation. He freely admits it was racist. He was out for a black man. But it's not racist because if a cop had raped her, he'd be out with a cloche looking for a cop. If if a Mexican had raped her, he was not thinking straight. He was looking for something that would relieve him of the incredible anger he had towards what happened to somebody close to him. We need to take a step back, world. We need to stop looking back 30, 40, 50 years at people's past and dragging up situations that should have either been raised and then dropped way back then or not raised at all. We are our past, but we are not responsible to correct everything that happened in our past, or we would not be able to properly be ourselves in the present, nor plan for the future. We all have things we're ashamed of. We all have mistakes we have made. And believe me, I am not alone. But this makes me very, very worried for our future if every mistake of our past, once you become important out there, if you've made some mistakes, you're going to get dragged down and shot. We have a thing in law called double jeopardy, and what they call a period of, I forget what they call it. Basically, if they can't bring a charge to you within X amount of years, it's not prosecutable again. Uh, Statute of limitations. We need to do that in our thinking. We need to be more accepting, honest, allow people to be honest about what made them grow into better non-racist people. That's what he was trying to get out, is that's something in his past that he's just totally ashamed of, and maybe he shouldn't have brought it forward, but in today's world he shouldn't have. But if he had brought it forward 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they would have been going, what a brave man admitting to that. Look how he's grown from it. Thank God nobody got hurt. You know, am I defending what he did? I'll quote Terry Crews, the black man who's also in trouble now. In fact, in more trouble it seems than Liam Neeson. Terry said, "I'm not defending him. I'm just discussing the situation in an honest way without emotion. I'm just saying he was not racist, and he is not racist." So boy, oh boy, we need to all calm the heck down and realize that there but for the grace of God go I. We are not perfect. We have made mistakes, and we have lived with and tried to correct our mistakes. Most people are good. Most people are good. And I'd feather a guess that 95% of people are good. There's not that many bad people out there. It's just, even if it's only half of 1% are really evil, well, half of 1% when you got 7 billion people is still a lot of evil people. So it seems like it's a huge amount, but we are the majority. The good is the majority. And the good don't become bad just because they admit they had odd thoughts when they were young, made mistakes when they were young. They're digging up people's yearbooks and what was written on them, when they were 16 and 17. I was an idiot when I was 16, 17. I would fight for, and I believed in protest, so I would protest anything, even if I didn't understand it, because I just wanted to be a part of it. It's like that kid with the MAGA hat against that Native American who was banging the drum. The Native American initiated that and really tried to get in a fight with a kid, and that kid was just reacting the best he could with a kind of nasty smirk and didn't move. And yet that was blown out of proportion. We need to calm the F down as a society, and we need to stop giving a platform to those who only want to destroy people for their past. Yes, if Liam was doing that right now with a cloche walking around London, he should be in jail. But if it happened 45 years ago and it's just a memory, we should say, good for you admitting to that fault. We all have faults. Friends, peace and cheers, love and harmony. Thank you for your continued support of my channel. It is making a difference. It is making a huge difference. My love to you. Much peace and harmony. Cheers.